Good morning everybody, welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. I hope you're all doing great and welcome to this new video here on Bitcoin this Thursday morning. We're going to do a full update. There's quite a lot we need to talk about, not necessarily regarding the technicals, because the technicals have been as expected, right? Yesterday what I said is that we did get some good news. I mean, yesterday, at least over the first half of the day, we did get good news, of course, with the CPI and inflation rate data, but after that some more kind of political instability came in, which had a bit of a bearish effect, and that could also have a bearish effect over the course of the day, and that is something we do need to talk about. So this will more so be some sort of a fundamental update, because I think the fundamentals are much more important. And technically we're also moving as expected, because yesterday what I said, if you watch my videos, both in the morning but also in the middle of the day market update, what I said is that, you know, we have gotten back into this range we were also at the end of May, right here between 107,000 and then 110.5 thousand. And what I said is that I think it's most likely, after all the momentum that we had since last week Friday practically, that we're going to sit in this range for a while, and then from this range we can either get a bullish continuation or we're going to get a pullback, right? So yeah, and now we're just moving in that range. We've dropped down into 107,500, where we're getting a decent bounce, although I'm not fully content yet with this bounce. I think it could have been better. And honestly, with the fundamentals in mind, I would even say that I think it's a little bit more likely that we'll still see a little bit lower. Like we have the 382 fib right here at 106,000.8. We also have a bit of an imbalance down there, so I'd say we still drop down a little bit lower, but it is very dependent on the fundamentals, right? And the most important fundamentals at this point of time is some sort of unrest in the Middle East, right? So at this point of time, you can see the volatility index is going up. Gold had a bit of a spike down, but also moved up after yesterday. Oil prices are up, and I know we're talking about Bitcoin. Why does oil matter? Well, trust me, it does, right? I mean, oil prices were very low, which some people said prevented some sort of a recession. If oil prices go into an uptrend here, that's very bad for worldwide economies, right? So therefore relevant, but it's all dependent on if we see a de-escalation. I think it's mainly between Iran and Israel, or if we see an escalation of that. If we see an escalation, even though technically Bitcoin is still holding this range, I don't think it will be able to continue holding that range. All right, if we see an escalation, and the main way, look, you don't even need to keep an eye on the news. The main way you can track that is just keep an eye on the VIX, right? Keep your eyes on the volatility index, and keep your eyes on gold. If we break out, or if we see bullish breakouts for both of those, it's quite likely that the unrest is, or at least that the situation is escalating, and that therefore the possibilities or the probability of Bitcoin holding the main support level right here around 107,000 significantly decreases. All right, so as it stands right now, I would still say that it is most likely, and that's also very much based on what I see from equities. Equities are also down here, but they're still holding relatively well, I'd say. But no, I mean, for those reasons, I would still say that it's most likely, and just in general, because it's the technical structure still for Bitcoin, I'd say it's still most likely that we will be able to hold this range right here. So that will stay between 107 and 110.5. Right, so I do still think that's most likely, but you know, I'm telling you, I do think 106.8 will hold. But would I buy there right now, given these fundamentals? No, right? So I do think it's good to be cautious, and if you want to know my thoughts on altcoins in general, I uploaded an alt season update yesterday, in which I also talked about this possibility. And there, by the way, we also said, you know, it's most likely we'll see some sort of a pullback. So I do think at this point of time the markets are still bullish and are still good. But you should ask yourself the question: is it worth to buy into the market at these levels with these fundamentals? And that is something you have to decide for yourself as well, of course. But alright, those are my thoughts at least. If you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching, take care, and bye.